Got it. We are recording. I'm going to mute everybody. Call this meeting to order. And ask you to stand for the pledge and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. We'll go ahead and get this started. Just a couple of quick housekeeping things. The village has purchased their own Zoom account instead of using mine. So from this time going forward, we'll be using a different Zoom meeting ID. So we will be sending that out to you later on so that you can make the corrections. It'll be just like this one. It will have a different number on it. So we'll let you know as soon as we start that up. We don't have any guests with us tonight, so we'll go down to the approval of our minutes. I've got you all muted, so when it's time to speak, just unmute yourself and say yes. Minutes of our November 17th meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All right, I think that was Tony made the motion and Caleb seconded.
Yes, sir.
Is there any further discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, let's roll call it. Deanna? You have to unmute yourself, please.
Yes.
And Caleb?
Yes.
And Bill? Unmute yourself.
Pardon?
You're still muted, Bill. There you go.
Tell him to nod his head. There he goes.
All right, I heard him. Tony?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
And Rod?
Yes.
All right, motion carried. Should have received an updated November 24th minutes. We had one little typo there that got corrected. So I will entertain a motion to approve our November 24th called meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Steer, second by Hoopengarner. Any further discussion? All right, Johnson,
Yes.
Steer, and Frexell,
Yes.
Gates,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
and Hoopengarner.
Yes.
All right, motion carried. No, there's a corrected one.
Got an electronic copy if you need it. There's just a misspelling, so it's not a huge thing.
You should have received a copy of the treasurer's report in your packet. Basically, the payroll report and the warrant list. It's not 48 pages this time, so we sent it out to you. Give you a chance to look that over. Once you look it over, I'll entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report and pay all outstanding bills.
So moved.
Second.
I think that was Caleb made the motion and Tony made the motion. Sorry about that. Did you get that, Myrna? Tony made the motion and Deanna seconded.
Caleb too.
All right. Any further discussion? Roll call. Bill,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Todd,
yes,
Rod,
Yes.
Deanna,
Yes.
Caleb.
Yes.
All right, motion carried. I need to rearrange my computer screen here so that you're all in order. You're all mixed up on me. Okay, Brandon, you're up, buddy. Unmute yourself and let us know what's happening.
You could just drag and drop us and put us where you want. It works. I don't have much other than to report. I did a final check of the water tower plans here this afternoon, so we've got a few little tweaks to make there. I intend to drop some off along with the permits that I need to do tomorrow. Get a signature. Fred, I coordinate with you. Maybe get some signatures this week. Get your approval, and we intend to submit next week down to the EPA for what will probably be a lengthy review. I understand that they're a little backed up down there. I made a phone call a couple of weeks ago, and I just got a return call today. So, but we'll get it down there, and they can do their thing.
All right, very good.
That's all I have, unless somebody has any questions.
No, we got it covered.
All right, anybody have any questions for Brandon? All right. I don't see anything on the agenda where we're going to need you later on, Brandon. So if you want to say adios.
What about the Lakeshore thing? He's not involved in that?
No, but he can stay on if he wants to listen to it.
I may stay on and listen a little bit. If I drop off, I apologize in advance, but I'll stick around for a while if it's all right.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you. All right.
Michael, how you doing? You're up.
I'm good, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Not much to report from my office, other than really the vacant property ordinance, which is in your packets. I believe it's up for a vote tonight. This just requires the owners of vacant and foreclosed properties to register them. So that way we have some contact information, get a hold of these people. The only change that's been made since the first initial draft you've seen is that we added a new section, just noting that the village has the discretion to hire an outside company if it chooses to. And this company would be a property registration company. They would maintain a registry. We'd authorize them to contact the owners and just keep a list of all these properties and keep a list of all the violations on these properties that we've seen or issued. And that's been really the only change. If and when we decide to hire a outside company to maintain our registration information, we would just need to put that up for a vote. And other than that, I don't really have any other issues pending, but if you have questions on the vacant property ordinance or anything else, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay. Anyone have any questions for Michael? Hearing none, we'll go down to the administrator's report. I'm gonna move it over so you can see our administrator and let him talk to you.
Hi, guys. For just following up, we've been working, I got in your packet, there's a list of kind of just highlights of things we've been working on. I have been working with the attorneys on the vacant property ordinance, and so that'll be voted on tonight. I did meet today with the company called Pro Champs. We patterned our ordinance after West Peoria, and they use Pro Champs, and basically that's the company that does the registration and billing and follow up on all foreclosed and vacant properties. The way it works is it's a kind of a zero cost proposition because we've got a $300 registration fee in our ordinance. What they do is they take 125 of that to manage those properties for us and keep a record of them and so forth. With your permission, what I'm going to do is invite the gentleman that I spoke with today from ProChamps to come to the meeting on the 15th. Between now and then, I'll send you some information, and then he can come and give you the specifics of what they do, and that'll give you guys a little bit more information on whether or not that's something that we want to look at. Any questions on that? Okay. Been working on the water rates and ordinance. I've been working on the website project. I've got a meeting tomorrow where hopefully I'm going to be able to look at the first we developed a site map, Lori and I, and I've given it to the designer, and she's putting it into a kind of a working model that we could look at and then go from there. We'll probably have to create some new content to go into the site, but it's progressing. I've also got a local lady working on getting us some photos of different things, landmarks and businesses and things throughout town that we can use for refresh photos in the website. As far as COVID management, we've been keeping in touch with our employee that tested positive, doing well. Wife has it as well. Kids don't, just mild symptoms at this point. And we've been working in the office here to kind of stagger our start and stop times and wearing masks and so forth to make sure that we kind of don't pass it around in here. And we've locked the doors, closed the office, but we're doing our best to make sure that all of the basic needs are getting met. I've also started the reimbursement process of our COVID dollars that we've spent through Cures. I've already submitted our first reimbursement for the laptop that we purchased for me to use and to use for these minute meetings. Lori and I will be working later this week or early next week to kind of go through each one and file them all. It is a little bit laborious. We have to kind of go through and put in a bunch of documentation from Locus and checks and invoice numbers and those types of things, but we're working on that to get all that done and submitted. We did pay the first half of the conference room, so that is done and the parts are ordered, and then once the parts are received, I think they can bill us for the remainder, and then I can get that one in before the end of the year as well. We've been working on the Lakeshore Drive project. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. We've just got an addition to the project that we want to talk about. I talked about the conference room upfitting and funding we've been working on. We did finalize the financial reports with Locus, so we're beginning to have discussions of what the budget might look like. And then I've got an employee handbook meeting with Michael and with Caleb's wife on Thursday of this week to look at it and to map out a plan to getting it updated and refreshed and making sure that it's where we want it to be. So that's kind of the stuff I have been working on.
Does anybody have any questions for Brian?
Very good, Ryan. Very good.
There's a lot of stuff going on. He has really, like I say, this cure stuff, the reimbursement is not an easy task to try to figure all this stuff out. He's been making calls to other communities and that, trying to figure out how to do this. So he's getting a good handle on it moving forward. So that's a good thing. All right, let's go on down to committee reports. Finance, Deanna, what you got for us?
Hey, we did renew the CD that was from the water fund in the amount of $53,765.23. It was renewed at Hannah City Community Bank for 9 months at 0.31%.
That's a good rate.
Oh, yeah.
You must have twisted some arms there. What else you got for us?
That's all I have.
All righty. Sewer, Todd, what you got for us? Unmute yourself first. You're muted.
Yeah, that would help.
There you go.
Basically, in the packet, I saw that we had a quote from Hare for $3,500 that we need to vote on. I wasn't exactly sure what we're paying for. I didn't know what that stuff meant. So I didn't know if you could kind of let everybody know what we're having done.
Yeah, basically, at our last meeting, we voted to reline the storm or the sanitary sewer along Lakeshore Drive from 116 to just the first curve there, basically. When we had the storm or sanitary sewer video camera, we saw some areas that also were bad spots. Some place where laterals were coming into the main, which causes a place for debris and stuff to get caught. One of the biggest problems was around the second curve there. A lot of tree roots were growing through the laterals into our main, blocking up our main there. So what this quote was for from Hare Construction for the $3,500 would be to be able to go into that lateral, put a T in there so that they can go in there and clean out all of those tree roots that are blocking, coming through and blocking our main. Getting that done there.
There's 2 protruding laterals.
And then the other thing is, that's a $2,500 charge. And then the other thing is the laterals that are coming in and protruding into the main, they would also go in, cut them off and make it a clean so that it would not interfere with the flow further on down the way. So that's what that $3,500 is for.
Just the way we got here is we were talking about the lining of we're tackling it in 2 projects. One was the lining of the first part, and the second part, there was a lot of water in the line. And so we asked them to quote what it would take to replace that if we needed to. And they came back and said that they didn't think it needed to be replaced. And their recommendation was just to take these 2 steps and make sure it was clear. And they thought since we weren't having any customer pain at this point, with the exception of Duryers, that we might be able to get by without the major expense of having to replace that line. So that's how we came up with this number. And then they said it would be cheaper if they did it all at once when they came out at one time. So that's why I think we approved not to exceed 11,000 before, and this would be an additional 3,500 to do this part when they're here.
All right, I will entertain a motion to approve the additional $3,500 for the Lakeshore Drive project.
So moved.
All right, I've got a motion by Deanna, a second by Gates. Any further discussion on that? Brandon, is there anything you want to weigh in on that?
No, I from what I understand, that sounds like a wise use of funds to take advantage of their mobilization and get as much done as you can. I know you put some money aside to do this periodically, so this seems like it's in alignment with the plan. So I would agree.
All right, very good, thank you.
Mhm.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call. Frixell,
Yes.
Gates,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Krupengarner,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
and Steer.
Yes.
All right, motion carried. Streets and alleys, Rod, what do you have for us?
I don't have anything.
Okay, sounds good. I see they've got the no truck signs up on some of the roads there, and so police and planning.
I don't have anything here. I'm assuming there's an incident report in my mailbox.
Yes, we've got 2 of them. From 11/8 to 11/14, 10 calls, and from 11:15 to 11:21, 8 calls. Nothing too major.
Yep, that's all I got.
All right. Water.
Well, we got the ordinance. Looks like I took a look at it earlier today and looked over it. It's in the packet. I don't see anything that needs to be changed on it right now. So basically, it just moves the base water rate up to $23.94 per month. That's the increase that will go in effect January 1st, and then go in then the 2.9, Brian.
2.7.
2.7.
2.7 then will go in every additional year based on what Illinois American Water. Yeah, there it is. 2.7 each year, depending on what Illinois American Water raises. So I make a motion we approve ordinance 20-12-01.
All right, I've got a motion by Frixell.
Second.
Got a second by Weaver. You should have a copy of that ordinance. Like I said, basically we increased the water charges to cover what we're paying Illinois American. The only thing that might be different, but it's not going to affect this ordinance, I don't believe, is we were looking with Locust. Illinois American bills us by hundreds, and that's how their meter is. And so we're looking at changing our billing that way, but it'll be the same price for thousands. We would just bill them by hundreds instead of thousands. So it should not have to change the ordinance at all with that.
Just one other point, if approved tonight, we'll spend probably the next billing cycle, after the billing cycle, we're gonna test it. We'll put the new rates in and test it and make sure everything's working the way it needs to work before we pull the trigger.
All right. Are we ready to vote? Gates,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Hoopengarner,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Steer,
Yes.
Frixell,
Yes.
Gates, you're muted.
You already asked me.
Oh, all right. Gotcha. That's right. You started it. All right.
Made the motion.
Frixell made the motion. Hoopengarner second. All ayes. 0 nays. All right. Michael, I'll get you a copy of the signed ordinance when Myrna signs it.
Sounds good. Thank you.
If I do, Michael.
All right.
Let's hope.
Anything else underwater?
Not at this time, sir.
All right. Buildings and grounds. Bill, you got anything for us?
Not tonight, I don't have no.
All right.
No tables, huh?
Not yet.
They're hard to find.
They're hard to find. We got till May to get them. Before Fred leaves. Then we may not already leave.
Moving down to other business. It's our resolution to extend our temporary executive powers. It'd be resolution number 2020-12-01 to extend our executive powers because of COVID.
So moved.
Second.
I got a motion by Weaver, a second by Frixell. Any further discussion? Roll call. Weaver,
Yes.
Hoopengarner,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Steer,
Yes.
Frixell,
Yes.
Gates,
Yes.
Motion carried, 6-0-0. Got it. All right. Vacant property ordinance. We gave it to you at our last meeting to give you a chance to take a look at it. Like I said, we kind of based this off of one that West Peoria adopted. Seems to be working okay for them. Like Brian said, they've hired a firm to kind of go through this. If you went through this ordinance, you'll notice that there's a lot of moving parts to it as far as keeping the registration current. And one of the things that this firm does is tries to contact the people and get all this information before it actually becomes vacant. As soon as they hear of a foreclosure, they jump on it right away. So I think it will be worth having this third party kind of oversee this ordinance. But it looks like a pretty comprehensive ordinance. Does anyone have any questions about it?
Why would someone willingly pay the registration?
Because if they don't, then we can fine them.
How do we find them? The company does that, assuming we use them.
So
They've got a process for tracking
that's kind of the stick that we have.
And we can also fine them for disrepair.
If it falls into disrepair, we can fine them. We can fine them for not complying with our ordinance.
They have to turn in, and the guy will go through all this, but they have to turn in an inspection every so often. And if they turn it in, but they haven't, but there is disrepair, then we can fine them for that. But kind of all the mechanics of it, the company, this ProChamps, for their 125 per property, they track down the owner and they chase down the money. They handle the billing. They send us our portion of it. They pretty much do all of the administration work for it. But that's a separate issue. There's two issues. One's the ordinance and one's whether or not we want to use ProChamps, which will be next meeting.
So I will entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 20-12-02.
So move.
Motion by Steer,
Second.
second by Hoopengardner. Any further discussion? Roll call. Hoopengardner,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Steer,
Yes.
Purcell,
Yes.
Gates,
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Motion carried. In your packets, you'll notice an annual appropriations ordinance amendment. This was an amendment to our appropriations ordinance. The things that we had to change, we caught this when we were working on our tax levy ordinance, is that because we took over the sanitary district, we have a special tax levy just for the sanitary district, or what used to be the sanitary district. And so whenever you levy money, tax money for something like that, you have to show that you're spending it on that specific item. And we did not have that outlined in our appropriations ordinance. And so if you look down to, it would be,
I think it's page 8.
yeah, page 8, the sanitary revenue, we had levied to get $37,583 in property tax. So we had to show that that was being spent on the sanitary. So we included that in that category. The 5400 category is our new sanitary category. So we put in like the expenses that we've already done, the 16,000 for the filter stuff and maintenance and supplies, which was we had underneath our sewer anyway. But this way we can spend that money, and we have to show that we're spending it on the money we're getting from the taxes. So that's why we are amending our 2020-2021 appropriations ordinance.
The total number remains the same. We just dropped sewer down by the amount we moved to sanitation so that the total number remained the same.
Anyone have any questions? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 20-12-03, the amendment to our appropriations ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Fritzell, second by Gates. Any further discussion? Johnson,
Yes.
Steer,
Yes.
Fritzell,
Yes.
Gates,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Hoopengarner.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Why is it 03 instead of 02?
Because 02 was the vacant property ordinance.
Okay, we don't have a number. Yes, we do. Thank you.
01 was the water rate increase ordinance.
Yeah, I missed the 02. Thank you.
02 was the vacant property ordinance. 03 is the appropriations amendment ordinance. All right. Coffee can permit fee. We finally got the building permit application for the coffee can. They finally were able to get a certified engineer to stamp the plans. That was a difficult thing for them to do because they couldn't find engineers that were familiar enough with these types of containers and building with them to do that. But we finally got all of that taken care of, sent it to our building inspector, and he signed off on it and approved it. One of the issues that came up, one of the requests that we had from the builders of the project was he was under the impression that we were going to waive the building permit fee when he was in discussions with our former administrator. So I'm bringing this before the board to see what they want to do. They've spent a lot of extra money when the tanks on the property that we sold them for $5 ended up spending somewhere between $50,000 and $60,000 to have those tanks removed from that property. So my recommendation is that we waive that permit fee for their building permit, $1,000, for the building of the coffee can.
How much is it slated at right now, Fred?
It would be $1,000 for a commercial building permit.
Has anyone contacted Kyle to see if he agreed to that?
No, I meant to do that,
I
and
think we should.
okay, I can do that. I meant to do that, and then the holidays got in the way, so I did not get that taken care of.
Plus, there's nothing in writing. I mean,
Right. There's not. There's nothing in writing.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll matter if Kyle did verbally or not. If it's not in writing, I think the only thing we can consider is do we do it because of the property we sold and that there was, unknown items there?
Right.
It is. But, I just want confirmation from Kyle whether it did or not. Just a little truth in it.
Yeah. I can
Yeah,
do
both-
that.
Both ways.
Yeah, that was, I
I see
meant to
your
do
point
that
there.
before our meeting and I did not get that taken care of. But I will do that. Any other thoughts?
I'm in favor of going the letting him have it.
Yeah. Any other thoughts or comments on it?
My thought was we'd do at least do a reduced rate. I mean, I understand any of the costs, but
We were
Yeah, I'm for just waiving the fee. It would be nice to know if Kyle did say that he was going to do that.
Yeah, I meant to contact him and I didn't. That was my fault.
I agree with Rod and Bill.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we pretty well knew the tanks were there.
Yeah.
Just
I didn't. I was convinced that they were not there after we had our guys dig all over that place and everything else. How they didn't find them, I have no idea.
Same here. I'm with Fred. I didn't think there's any way you could have missed them with the way they cut that lot up.
Yeah.
They didn't dig where they were told to dig.
Well, they went over top of them, I think. I think they barely went too shallow.
Yeah.
Just by a little bit.
They missed it on north and south ends. They went north and south of them.
Oh.
All right. The only other thing I have is the letter that we'll be sending out to our customers. Does anyone have any comments or changes they want to make to the letter that we put in your packet? If not, that will be the letter that we will be sending out to our water customers in reference to the rate change. Any comments, concerns?
Good.
No, I think it looks good.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Okay, our next board meeting is December 15th. Last one of the year. It too will probably be by Zoom because I don't think the governor is going to lift any restrictions for a while.
don't we have caucus this week?
Yes,
Monday. Next week.
we have caucuses Monday night. What time are they, Myrna?
6.
Of
6 o'clock. Remember, you have to be in the building. Myrna and I checked with the county and state election boards, and because I was concerned with COVID, whether or not we would be able to hold the caucuses, but they said that elections are exempt from the governor's executive orders, so we will continue to hold them. You need to be in your caucus prior to 6 p.m. Once at 6 p.m., the doors are locked. No one else can come in. So please be sure to be there. For those, I don't know if you know which party you're on.
No,
One party meets down at the Park District building. The other party will meet up here in the City Hall. So,
so how do
I'll let
find
you know,
out what
Todd.
party? Okay,
yeah.
Myrna, can you let me know?
Yeah, I'll send out an email tonight and tell you which parties you're on.
and when,
Caleb, I think you're at the village hall.
And which one's where?
I don't know. I haven't copied all the papers yet.
Well,
It's the citizens and the peoples, but I don't know which is which.
we will
I think
send
I'm
out,
people.
we will send out that information in an email to you. So be looking for that in the next day.
and what was the day? And next what?
Monday,
Monday.
December 7th, 6 p.m. Put it on your calendar.
You
And-
got it.
Phil will be the chairman for the community center, Fred.
Okay. All right, anything else? Hearing none, meeting adjourned.
See
Thank
you
all very
Monday,
much.
everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Luke.
Stop recording.
Yeah.